All right, then let's go to the AFC, where there are no fewer than now 6 4-2 teams. The Steelers, Chargers, Patriots, Bills, Jaguars, Broncos. Let's do the same thing. You can only put your marker on one of those teams. The Steelers, Chargers, Patriots, Bills, Jaguars, Broncos. Which one would it be out of the AFC to make this?
Well, I think the first thing that I'm probably not supposed to do, because I don't know what the line of questioning is going to be. Can I add the Kansas City Chiefs into that so I can make this answer?
They're 3-3. Sure, but go for it. Sure.
You so I can make this answer really easy. I think that's the team to beat. I think that's the team to beat again, Rich. And I know that feels like an easy out, but I was saying this after their 0-2 start without Xavier Worthy. I'd never seen Patrick Mahomes play with so much passion, with so much intention. You can tell that he's set to prove something, and he understands how well he needs to play. Also thought Steve Spagnuolo on the back end, without Justin Reed, who is now in New Orleans, was just trying to figure some things out with a rookie corner that's played a ton of time. Jaden Hicks, a second-year player at the safety position, just figuring out things from a chemistry standpoint, communication, and I believe that they're doing that. Add to that, in this week, you are adding Rashee Rice, who was one of the best receivers going into last season before the ACL. We saw him ascend as they went to win a Super Bowl in his rookie year. I think this offense is going to be extremely explosive, especially with the quarterback under center, run game getting going. That would be the team I'd pick. But if you give me a 4-2 team, I still think it's the Buffalo Bills. 8 people injured against the Atlanta Falcons, one of the best players in the world in Josh Allen, and in my opinion, a stellar head coach. I think they right the ship and figure some things out.
Well, and again, you know how it works in our business. If you're on a bye week, it's as if you don't exist, and there's no reason to have a conversation about them. But let's do it here since I have you. The 1-5 Ravens, are you off them completely? Are they fork stuck? What do you think?
You know, Ryan? Like that's the difficult thing is, right? Lamar Jackson can come back, and this team can go on a run, win 8 of their last few games, or 9, and find a way to get into the playoffs. I just don't believe the way this roster is constructed, the way that they're executing, that they can win big playoff games. I do believe that at the end of the season, we're going to be looking at them and saying to ourselves, okay, where do they fit into this picture? What sort of wild card team could they be? Or with the Pittsburgh Steelers losing this week, how do they have the ability to close that gap? Because they do have 2 games in week 14 and week 18 to play down the stretch. So I believe that the Baltimore Ravens do factor in. I just don't believe they're as big of a threat to win the Super Bowl as we expected them to be coming into this season. I think Lamar Jackson has to take too much on his shoulders. And now with him being injured, Zach Orr's defense not playing at a high level, I just can't see them beating the best of the best in playoffs.
I kind of think that they're going to be that team, Ryan, that we're going to be on our collective shows, our respective shows in December saying, don't let them in the tournament. Do not let them in. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be on the cusp. They'll be right there in the mix for the 7 seed maybe. Or, you know, they do have both games with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh still remaining. And their one win is in division. So that's why I'm saying I'm not ready to bury them yet. I'm just not ready to bury the Ravens yet.
I think it's about perspective too, Rich. You've been doing this for so long, and you understand it. I'm not looking at them from the perspective of like how do they get back in the fight. I'm looking at them from a perspective of where I thought they'd be in the fight at this point. Right, I believe that we were talking about the best roster in football at the beginning of the season. I don't believe that personally anymore. But you are absolutely correct. I think then history will come into play, you know, Rich. And I'll ask you this question: even if the Baltimore Ravens are hot headed into the end of the season, how will you look at past and previous playoff failures as to how dangerous you believe they could be if they do, or if and when they do get into the dance?
Certainly if they got to go to Arrowhead, as you point out. I mean, the 3-3 Chiefs do not look like a 500 team. And then, of course, you mentioned the Lions. The Bucs are playing them on Monday Night Football. A massive game that you're going to be all over in a couple of days. A massive game. I look forward to that one. Big time.
Yeah, I think that's huge, Rich, because Baker Mayfield playing like an MVP. I think Todd Bowles should be getting Coach of the Year sort of conversations, not necessarily recognition right now because it's early. Just the way that they execute in the stretch, the way they execute in 2-minute drills, all sorts of critical football moments. I think that is extremely important, and it tells a ton about the way that they prepare each and every week. I'm excited to see this game on the road against a very good Detroit team that will be coming off of a loss against the Kansas City Chiefs. So they'll be, locked in and ready to try to win this football game. I think this is going to be big because it has playoff implications into where a playoff game could be played if these two teams see one another again.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.